Distinguished guests, valued partners, and dear friends, good morning and a very warm welcome to each of you to ISIS Malaysia. Before we begin, allow me to extend my apologies for being unable to be present with you today, as I'm currently in Beijing to speak at the World Peace Forum. A sincere thank you for joining us today as we discuss the progressive wage policy, particularly as we review ISIS Malaysia's policy brief, Malaysia's Progressive Wage Policy, a guide to policy design considerations for effective implementation. First published at the end of March 2024, this policy brief is aimed at laying the foundation for deeper discussions on the policy design of Malaysia's progressive wage policy, proposed just last year. By drawing from Singapore's decade-long experience with its own progressive wage model, the policy brief outlines the different design options and the trade-offs inherent in each option. As we all know, policies take serious effort and even greater political will. The Ministry of Economy, Ministry of Human Resources, and numerous government agencies have already done much of the hard work in taking that first leap forward. As we speak, the pilot program is underway and will run from June to September. But the journey towards successful implementation will entail much more. Indeed, following this pilot comes the gargantuan task of evaluating the results of the pilot and navigating a complex transition towards nationwide implementation. ISIS Malaysia is committed to supporting these efforts at every step. It is in this spirit that we are presenting today's policy brief and convening a panel to discuss it further. Through these efforts, we hope to play our role in enhancing critical discourse towards workforce skills development, wages, productivity, and growth in Malaysia. As we inch closer to high income status, we could do well to remember that developmental success is much more than just reaching an arbitrary income threshold. To truly join the ranks of developed nations, we as a nation need to prioritize progress over profit, human capital over cheap labor, and cooperation over competition. After all, the true measure of a nation's progress is not just in its economic output, but in the well-being and development of its people. Make no mistake, this does not mean sidelining economic progress and growth. On the contrary, these efforts will enhance growth, accelerate economic development, and support the inclusive growth ideals of the Madani economy framework. It will play an important role in advancing human capital development and improving living standards. Of course, with the important caveat that we make the right choices and implement them effectively. But what these choices are and how we can implement them effectively is what we are gathered to discuss here today. With that, I thank you all again for taking the time to be here.